Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Today I'm going to share with you my mamul recipe, which is something that I always wanted to do. I love mamul and I've been doing this for years, and I'm grateful that I was able to learn how to make mamul from my auntie. Today I'm excited and glad that I could share my experience with you. My mamul is made of semolina only, so if you are looking for flour semolina mamul, please wait because I have another easy recipe for mamul. But I don't know if I can upload it before the ending of Ramadan or not. Please stay tuned anyway, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do and like this video, and let's get started. First of all, I'm gonna show you what it says on the packaging. This is the semolina and it says coarse semolina. The other one is extra fine semolina. Those are the ones that I'm gonna use. Coarse semolina and extra fine semolina. Now I have 300 grams of extra fine semolina and 200 grams of coarse semolina. And just in case if you're wondering what is semolina, semolina is a type of flour that it's made of durum wheat, aka pasta wheat. And I think that you can notice the difference between the two, that the extra fine semolina is almost like flour and the other one is not. Here I have 170 grams of butter. You can use ghee instead of butter. And here I have 30 grams of ghee, and you can use butter instead of ghee anyway. Now we're going to mix the two types of semolina in a big bowl. And then I'm going to add the butter gradually, and what I'm going to do is rub the butter with the semolina. This is the most important step in making mamul. That motion, I would say, is like hand washing your clothing. It is so important to keep doing this for a really long time until every single particle of semolina is covered with butter and you feel that all the particles are wet and there's nothing dry at all. Now you might ask me, can I use vegetable oil instead of butter? Well, if you are planning to hit somebody with your mamul, go for it. However, if you want your mamul to melt in your mouth, use butter. In other words, you can't use vegetable oil. And you might ask me, can I use plant-based butter ghee? The answer is yes, you can, if you are used to these kind of things, but for me, I prefer animal fat. And as I said, keep rubbing, as you can see, or hand washing. I would say this is like hand washing. This is so important, guys. Do it as much as you can, at least for 15 minutes. But if you can do it for more, no problem. And you guys, if you watch my videos, know that I use measuring cups. So if your cups are different or you are using different measurements, I really want you to understand what the texture should be like. It should be like this. If you press it with your hand, it will form something, but it will crumble easily. And I would describe this as wet sand. And I cover it and I leave it a couple of hours at room temperature, and then I put it in the fridge. If you live in a cold area, no problem, leave it at room temperature. Now this is the next day. I'm gonna rub it again. You should leave the butter semolina mixture for 24 hours, at least for 12 hours. And I don't just leave it as it is and put it in the fridge. What I do is rub it every once in a while. For this time, I rubbed it once only. I took it out of the fridge. As you can see, it is stiff and the warmth of your hand will move the butter, so don't worry. and I rub it. And I did that once only, as I said. Then I leave it a couple of hours at room temperature, and then I put it back to the fridge. And this is the mixture after 16 hours. I took it out of the fridge beforehand. I rubbed it with my hands, and this is the last step. I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of instant yeast and a quarter cup of rose water. You can add just water instead of this. I'm gonna add the water gradually and knead the dough. You know, always every year when I make this, I feel like the semolina is not gonna form a dough at all, and it's not gonna be combined or anything, and I really feel so scared. Although I always make mamul. Working with semolina is kind of tricky, and you would feel that this is not gonna become a dough ever, and it's so crumbly and it's not gonna become a dough, but as you are adding water, it will become a dough and it will be combined. And then I add a quarter cup of water. Keep kneading until you get this texture. Once you are able to form the dough and shape it as you want, and it looks smooth and does not stick at all, you have to stop kneading, because mamul dough doesn't need a lot of kneading. And as you can see, it does not stick at all. So it means it's perfect, and I'm gonna leave it in the fridge and make the filling. I got here date paste, a little bit of butter, and a little bit of ground cinnamon and ground cardamom as well. Those are just for flavor, and the butter is to make the paste even softer. Look at that, it's almost like a dough, and you can form it and shape it the way you want. And this is the second filling. This is walnut. I'll leave filling up to you guys. You can fill it with pistachio, you can, I don't know, almond, whatever you want. I'll show you different fillings in the next video. I added a little bit of butter to it and a little bit of cinnamon, and this is honey. You can use sugar syrup instead of honey, or you can even use icing sugar. Maybe you noticed that I did not use sugar in my dough, but that because I'm gonna garnish it with icing sugar at the end. And I take the dough out of the fridge and I cut it into small balls, as you can see. Same for the date. But first of all, I'm gonna see if the size of the dough is suitable to my mold and the size of the filling is suitable for my dough. And I grab my mold and put it there and press it a little bit, and it will come out easily. And as you can see, the size is perfect, so I'm gonna start doing the rest of the amount. Play your favorite podcast or show and start working, because this will take a long time. Now just follow what I'm doing here. You can fill it the way you want, not necessarily following the same steps that I'm doing, but yeah. Now if your dough doesn't come out of the mold, sprinkle some extra fine semolina in the mold and it will come out so easily. And it looks adorable as well. Same for walnut. I put it in the fridge so I was able to form it into balls. And honestly, I did not like this shape, so I decided to make another shape. Those are in the middle are walnut, and there's another tray, by the way. And now I'm gonna bake it in the oven. If your oven works from the top and the bottom at the same time, that would be good. Turn on your oven from the top and the bottom and bake Mamul at the highest heat possible until they get a beautiful color. As you can see, it doesn't take a long time, so please keep an eye on them. If you leave the butter semolina mixture to rest for 24 hours or at least for 12 hours with rubbing it at least once, and you follow the instructions, you will get the best result. And I'll try to put everything in the description box down below, the details and the explanation and the ingredients and everything. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I'll upload a video on how to make a really easy and instant mamul, so please stay tuned for that one. Hopefully I'm gonna upload it before the end of Ramadan, although I didn't really think so that I would be able to do so, but yeah, hopefully I will. And as you can see, I covered them pretty well. Once they cool down completely, and I sprinkle icing sugar in them. And I think you noticed that I did not use sugar in my dough because I wanted to garnish it with icing sugar. The sweetness of the date and the icing sugar on top, that's more than enough for me. But I normally add sugar like 2 tablespoons or a 1/4 cup, so feel free to add sugar if you want. I hope I really gave you all the details and I explained everything pretty well. If you have any question, please leave it in the comments down below. I will read your question. Mamul is better eating with Arabic coffee. That's what we serve in Eid. And if you haven't seen my coffee video, please go and watch it. It's so good. I'll leave it in the description box below. If you like what I'm doing and you want to support me and appreciate the effort that I'm putting in making these videos, please consider subscribing, like this video because that would help me a lot, and hit the bell so you don't miss out any of my future videos. And if you are still watching, you are a legend. Thanks for watching. Eid Mubarak, and I shall speak to you all very soon. Bye bye.